Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Cologne for our final game of the day. Group D is just about to be wrapped up with our last game to find out which player qualifies for the quarterfinals. 7 already in there, Todd. 1 more to go. Who's it going to be?
Hey, Protoss. For a change.
Very good, very good. Bracket so far, if you haven't been with us through today, and why the hell not, make sure you tune in tomorrow because the quarters, semis and finals are coming. Innovation through in the upper bracket via 2-0 wins over Hero Marine and MC. Classic just disposing of Hero Marine 2-0, which leaves us with a rematch. Now, the last time these two guys met, about 2 hours ago, it had 3 very similar builds in a row, and MC came out on top. Are we expecting a repeat?
It's a hard question because as unlikely as it is for them to go for the similar build order, especially the 2 Stargate twice in a row, this is kind of unseen.
Yeah, especially for MC, right?
Yeah. Then again, you know, since they've gone for it before, they might think about each other that it's unlikely that one of them might not do it again, so they might try to gain the edge from this, but I don't know, I would expect MC maybe to be the one to play a little bit less with Stargates, just because from what we've seen from him before. Whereas Classic, I really felt like, in my opinion, he was trying to counter the 2 gateway style of his opponents. So this might be what we see here, with more of a Stargate play from Classic and 2 gateways from MC.
MC has a lot to play for still here, although he is qualified for Katowice, and he's lost his unofficial world champion tag now because he lost to Innovation, so that, you know, that's gone out the window. If you follow the live thread, you'll know what I'm talking about. And now, what's he got to play for? Well, like Apollo says earlier, he just wants more and more and more. And more right now means more money, quarterfinals, more WCS points. So for him,
I don't think he cares about quarterfinals. He
that
wants
was going to be my question.
$10,000.
Yeah, that was my question. Is he going to care about all of that right now, or is he just thinking, I'm just going all the way to the final, I'm winning the tournament?
You know, the funny thing about MC is that he's always confident and he's always expecting to win matches. If you talk to his manager and you ever ask him, what did MC tell you about his match? Is he confident? A lot of the time, that happened to me, Minsik answered to me, he just told me he's basically not going to lose to this guy, that's it. He's expecting to win, and that's what MC does. He always expects to win, and he wins a lot. He's a confident guy.
Okay, so you're going with MC.
This is a really, really hard...
No, it's not. It's not a hard question.
I think he's going to be very close. I would say MC.
You know what MC would be saying right now to you?
MC, definitely.
Okay, good. All right, we've got a very firm answer from the Frenchman. He says MC is going to go and win this one. Let's find out our final member of the Best of 8 club here at the Intel Extreme Masters Cologne, who are going to close out your final game of the night with Kalaris and Apollo.
Thanks very much, guys. We are back. We actually haven't cast together today, but
not today, no. No.
Yep. All right, so we're back for the last one. We are back for the last one as we now find out that last remaining spot in the round of 8. And Classic versus MC, we already saw it, but it's so difficult to determine who is actually going to advance on. It really is.
Yeah. Despite what Todd was saying, I actually want to speak a little bit quieter.
Okay.
Just in case MC hears.
All right, okay.
But, I bumped into MC just kind of walking here.
Yes.
He was saying duck, 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 but, you know, with a different letter at the start. And I was like, what's wrong? He's like, classic. And I think he's actually a little bit secretly, as I'm speaking, quite frightened. Because Classic is actually a really, really good player. And, you know, the MC boss toss confidence, which is always there, sometimes, you know, can be a screen in front of him. And portrays that image. So secretly, he's a little bit worried going into this, and I don't blame him at all.
Yeah, I mean, Classic showed some great play in the previous series, and, well, now we're going to see what he's going to get up to. The interesting thing is that during the previous best of 3 with these two, there was a lot of Stargate openers. Openers.
Yeah, I didn't actually manage to catch the series because it was my time to eat food.
Okay.
And I do like eating food, so I missed that. But you caught it, which is good.
Well, basically, in the long term of that series, MC got a better hand when it came to those Stargate openers and did all right from there on. But Classic refused to die. Classic really refused to die for a lot of it. So we're going to be on Daedalus Point, Yonsu, and Pole the Knight. That's the same map pool, if I recall.
Yeah.
And Daedalus Point will be our first map here.
All right, well, I mean, the funny thing is, despite MC playing against Classic earlier, from what I was told is that it was a very similar game. They both played very identical, and it was just smaller, little narrow differences that made the overall difference between a win and a loss between them. So this rematch is going to be a good one. They played earlier, MC won 2-1. They find themselves in the last game of Group D for the last possible slot to move on to the quarterfinals. But a lot of people may not have watched the qualifier who are watching now. The way that Classic qualified to actually play into this tournament was remarkable, the players that he went through. And the majority of games were actually Protoss versus Protoss. Here's 5 different victims he went through on the way in qualification. Squirtle, Deer, Parting, CJ Hero, and SOS.
Yeah.
All 5 of those were actually victim to this guy on screen in a PvP, in a best of 3, in a very intense atmosphere. And here he is now in exactly the same kind of situation. He's in an intense atmosphere. This is very important. And he's got the track record to win this. And then put that alongside his pro league record, where I think he's 3 wins and 1 loss in PvP games as well. Just absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Bostos is really the only one to properly take a series off him for quite a while in terms of Protoss versus Protoss. So he could make it happen again, but I can completely understand why he would still be scared of a guy like Classic, who, I mean, let's face it, he practices with the best team, at least I feel, the best team in the world, SK Telecom T1. They are so formidable on every single angle, in every single matchup. And, well, we're going to find out.
But to be fair to MC, just in this tournament alone, he's beaten San and Classic in this very tournament within the open bracket and today. And those are 2 big names. This guy, Classic, who's beaten him once, he can do it again. He's beaten San before, who just come off a big victory just a couple of weeks ago in Finland, majority through his PvP game. So MC has the tools necessary to beat him. Does he actually have that true confidence in himself and doesn't want to let that kind of cloud his judgment going into this? He needs to play like he did earlier, and I absolutely think MC can do it. It's going to be difficult. Classic is a wonderful player, and now it's time to really see that come through.
And let's get into game number 1, as we have spawning up to the top left-hand corner here are Red Protoss representing SK Telecom T1. It is Classic. And spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner, we have our Blue Protoss. He's the boss toss. It's MC.
All right, so Daedalus point here, the first map between these 2 players. You said, did they start on this map, or was it just one of the 3?
They eventually got onto this map.
Okay.
So I think the first one was Polar Knight. Yes,
okay.
I think so.
Okay, and it was Stargate oriented. I suppose that, like Todd said, MC throughout all of his PvP games, or most of them, likes a very proactive approach to it. So like double gateway into some form of tech. So I imagine it was like a lot of double gateways into, if you say Stargate was the tech choice, and then just kind of I imagine, I didn't watch it, so I imagine he would have been in Classic's face a lot more, putting pressure on very early on from his units and carrying it through like that.
I mean, I don't want to say that's classic MC, but it really is in the end.
Classic MC, yeah.
That is pretty much what happens.
Okay.
MC's always in your face, looking to put on the pressure.
And he's already scouting around, just in case there were any proxy gateways or something along his natural there, and is going to go cross-map to scout. Loses a little bit of income through throwing that probe out in the middle of the map scouting. Of course, it's a lot safer to do so, but he is losing a bit of resources in doing that. Classic will edge just a little bit further. You can see by the numbers at the top there, Classic was 17 to 16 in the lead there, just by a little bit in supply.
Oh, and actually that pylon over on the left-hand side, I think previously for Classic, it may not have been for Classic, I can't 100% remember, but it may have been for like the Twilight Council. So we'll see if that comes on to fruition again here for Classic, who for now is going to get scouted out by the boss toss. Is he going to see everything he needs to? He's going to count pylons and he's going to be like, wait a minute, where's your second pylon?
Yeah, and obviously can imagine it's still in the base somewhere, and especially with seeing that double gateway down, he knows it's not going to be a one-gate super fast tech here. And MC getting a lot of scouting information, so we see Classic just going straight for double gateways, maybe expecting MC to do the same, so we can kind of keep equal in that. But MC has, or did he actually go for a Zealot and then cancel the Zealot there? That's kind of weird. But then goes over to the Stalker and will throw down a tech choice here. but we'll need really, and ideally, to get rid of the scouting probe first and then throw it down. This could be Stargate again from MC.
Yeah, he's got that pylon positioned at the back if he wants to go for that and try and hide it a little bit. And this probe will end up at least being shooed away once that Stalker gets out. But Classic knows that he has to just get out of there and make sure that that Stalker doesn't kill it off. He doesn't want to lose a probe for nothing.
And MC's gone for a second Stalker here, and it is prolonging his tech just a little bit as the Mothership core does now pop out. Interested to see which way he's going to swing. As Classic, with his double gateways, only built one Stalker and then stop producing any other units from the double gateways. Okay, sorry. Okay, he's just throwing down the double. Okay, so he built 2 Stalkers, then he cancelled 1 Stalker, then he threw down the Twilight Council. But both have gone down the Twilight Council route now. Blink, of course, is just overall great on any map here. But I wonder if one of these is going to try DTs.
Well, I mean, especially on Daedalus, right? We saw... Oh, God.
And I feel it might be Classic with the probe on the right-hand side here.
Yeah. This could certainly work out for him.
No, with a third gate, he's probably going to go Blink here.
Well, with that, you know, we see a lot of Blink on Daedalus. Daedalus is a great map for Blink, and we saw it during their game on Daedalus Point, where we had a Blink into the main, trying to snipe out the Robo. Didn't quite work out in the end. It was an alright trade, but MC had put himself a little bit too far. Oh, sorry, Classic had put himself a bit too far behind during all of that. So this is going to shape up to be very, very similar to their previous encounter.
And Classic's trying to get some info here. Is he going to be able to get to the back here? He's got to be careful. There's 3 Stalkers. He might have to recall here. He's going to go in and then recall back, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
And he does get a scout, though. That's a nice big scout there. And from that information picking up that he's playing against Blink and seeing that Blink is being researched here, he doesn't necessarily need to be aggressive from this point, because if he is aggressive, then MC is going to be in a better position because he's naturally going to be set up more defensively and in a better posture with his army. I wouldn't be surprised to see Classic just say, oh, well, okay, well, let's just move this on into the next stage of the game and probably look for an expansion from this point, or at least could do.
Well, he's just going to sit back at home and stay sturdy whilst that pylon over on the right-hand side will allow Classic to eventually go for a counter-attack if he sees his opponent go for something aggressive himself, which is always a nice angle to take in Protoss versus Protoss.
Yeah, MC still doesn't really know what's going on now. Sees... Well, okay, he tried to hide some Stalkers there, but he saw the Stalker count. And can kind of imagine that they're probably in a very similar location from this. And MC's just going to go down and throw an expansion. And I'd imagine the same from Classic here. He definitely could still go, because imagine if MC did throw an expansion down here, that's 400 minerals away from units, and then Classic could potentially use that money to build units to hit a window like that.
Yeah.
We're about to see what decisions they're going to make now.
Well,
As usually in this position it is just expansion builds, when they're both... They kind of both know exactly what they're doing, so...
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard to break an opponent when you're so similar.
you're right, it's so hard to pressure in there and actually do some damage. As well, Classic's going to scout around on his side of the map, because, you know, he threw a proxy pylon down, so there's no reason really why MC might not have thrown one down himself to go for some kind of counter-attack as well.
He just swapped in... MC just swapped in 3 additional...
Oh, hello.
Stalkers there. So he's taken a 3 Stalker lead. That's like the difference between the Nexus and the units here, which I just talked about.
Yeah.
But Classic has an Overseer, which, not an Overseer, sorry, an Observer, which is going to swing around and spot the Nexus or lack a Nexus for, say. And there is one Immortal, which I guess there's going to be another 3 Stalkers soon if MC moves out again here. But that one Immortal and a second one on the way is pretty big.
Yeah, he absolutely knows.
He shouldn't be able to do
with that.
anything to Classic in this position.
And Classic's chrono boosting out that Immortal, so he knows that with that delayed Nexus, there could be an attack on the way. So absolutely has to set up his defenses. And indeed he does. He pushes this away pretty easily. And MC has to reside himself to a slower Nexus.
Yeah, we should see Forges come down at this point here, because they both kind of said, all right, well, okay, the early stages, the one-based kind of play has moved on from this point, and we can look to play in the middle stages here. And if the middle stages is going to be played, which seems to be the case, the Forges should come down here to further upgrade their units, as Classic has decided to do that. But MC, not yet here. His Stalker count's still at 12. He hasn't increased or added on anything else to that. And he is chrono boosting into the Nexus here, so I think it'll shortly come down.
And yeah, just kind of boosting into those Immortals. He tries to get more out himself just in case he would get hit, but at least it equals his opponent's Immortal count, right?
It's a very similar game. I mean, just a slight lead here for Classic.
Yeah.
Faster Nexus, a little bit of better of an Immortal count just by 1 at the moment. Of course, MC trying to catch up. And he's also able to get the gases on the actual just that little bit faster.
army supplies and spending just in general very, very similar across the board. So this is going to go on longer, guaranteed. There's not really anything anyone can do at this point, but it's going to be interesting to see the compositions that they go for because they already have Twilight Council out available to them. There's no real reason why they would shy away too much from adding on Charge very quickly, and then maybe even adding on that Templar Archives because it's so accessible.
Very surprised at MC not getting a Forge or not adding the gases yet. He's just added on the gases here. Usually this game will play out very similar, that they'll both try to just go down the same path route and advance into the later stages. There's definitely opportunities for timings though. And with MC throwing down the Robotics Bay looking to push up towards Colossus here, I thought there may be an opportunity where he did throw down extra gateways, did warp in more Stalkers, did look for a chance to move across the map, but with the Robotics Bay and Forge now coming in, yeah, he's not going to be the case.
Going straight up to that very, very strong force.
And as you say, all right, I'm pretty sure we'll see the... Okay, there it is. The Templar Archives coming for Classic.
All right, so we basically get to see the two big compositions of PvP clash against one another here.
And I prefer Classic style here coming into this map because if you think about in the larger point in the middle of the map, in the middle of it, it's going to be a lot easier for Classic to utilize his army strengths more so than MC, who's going to need to fight in choke points, in smaller locations, and Classic... Oh, well, actually, both of them haven't really got... Actually, I say that, and Classic actually has an Observer hidden away from all of us that sees everything.
Yeah, he's doing all right for himself.
And this is absolutely going to posture him up, I'd imagine, to take a third base pretty fast from this point. I mean, you can't move out until Thermal Lance is done. You're going to have a better position if they do fight in the middle of the map.
Exactly.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we did see that third base come in soon for Classic.
Yeah. It really feels like Classic's just playing a little bit better to the map, just in general. And he even starts adding on the Stargate
already,
so he can go up to that fleet beacon as well for Tempests. This is a perfect position for Classic, who is reading into his opponent brilliantly.
Yeah, and MC's did see the Templar Archive, so he knows his opponent is playing Templar base, but doesn't really know what else is going to go on from that. Is in this position, as mentioned, Classic will take map control here. He's the one that can be out in the middle of the map, and MC's got to play this a little bit slower than usual.
Classic's actually moving out a little bit aggressively as well. Noticeably, MC's only moving out with his Stalkers, which of course do have ample mobility to get out of here. But one of the big factors when going into an engagement here is, of course, that Mothership Core, the 2 time warps that are available to him when he can lay them down on those Colossi that become extremely immobile during those phases. So it's going to be important to keep that Mothership Core alive for Classic.
Stalkers from MC!
Wow, he actually blinked forwards aggressively there.
Yeah, he actually kills the Stalker. Oh no, 3!
Uh-oh.
Okay, 3 for 1. That's obviously a pretty big there for Classic. And MC warps in aggressively here, or defensively, because he realizes, oh, nice snap there of the Observer. So he loses the high ground vision for now. But yeah, this is a very good, very, 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 very good position for Classic, because right now he's hiding crucial tech away from MC, which is a fleet beacon. He needs time and resources to dedicate to going up to the Tempests, and right now is in a weaker position because of resources being saved and spent in that way. And he's got multiple ways to make this work. First of all, he was playing aggressive there, forcing MC on the back foot. He's denied scouting and is again in the middle of the map here. He moves towards the Hallucinated Phoenix, destroys it in the middle of the map.
Nice.
So again, and then even if MC moves out, the Warp Prism's there to bring him back again. So he has multiple tools to keep MC away from his base, to keep him away from finding out the Tempests. And if we get up to the right amount of Tempest, 3 is fine in this position.
Yeah,
then Classic's going to outclass MC's army.
He's really on top of him. This is really cool from Classic, especially since his third base was a whole lot quicker as well, because of all the previously mentioned statements about how hard it would be.
And Classic's pulling MC out of position. He moves forward, MC falls for it, and then the Warp Prism's there.
Too easy for that.
Oh, he's got for the Nexus.
And he actually might be able to get this. That's 8 Zealots going to town on this. MC realizes he's in a lot of trouble. He's actually trying to warp in some of the Zealots here. The Stalkers blink back. He should be able to clean this up. Oh, it's going to be so close. That one closest. Turn around. Oh, no, it's not enough. It's not enough. Classic gets the Nexus. Denies a lot of income here for MC.
And he realizes that MC may go for a counterattack from this position, and he's chrono boosting vividly into the Stargate, realizing that, okay, let me just get those 3 Tempests, and I'm ready to fight MC. I'm good to go. So this has been beautifully played from Classic. He really is outplaying MC in this game.
A great game one here from our SKT T1.
And MC's going for it. He's going for it. There's 2 Tempests. The third one is very close to popping out. But of course, Classic can move down, kill the third, and then recall back and take the fight anyway.
This is really hard for MC to deal with. Classic has just beaten him left, right, and center, and now all he has to do is hold on. If he can, Wait a minute.
He's going back to Classic's retreating to his main base. He's going to kill off MC and just make sure his infrastructure's been brutalized and then take the fight eventually back in his main base.
That's a pretty sick choice here from Classic. Will it work out? It looks like he's going to take down that Nexus very, very quickly. He needs to group everything together and come on back because that's a lot of firepower that they have, but the 3 Tempests go uncontested. The only thing that can get to those is the Blink Stalkers, but even then, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, Classic just needs to meet to the Tempest here. He doesn't really need to be in MC's base right now. He can do absolutely fine, but it's all about the Tempest. If they bring those Colossus down, then this is a different game.
MC's actually gone for a base over an opponent's 3rd base to just try and protect that. That's where his army's going to be the whole time anyway. He doesn't care about his tech, and now he's actually going to go for this fight. Those Blink Stalkers, they're going to blink forwards here, trying to bring down those Tempests where they can. If they do fall, those Colossi are going to have an absolute field day. He needs his entire army back here to complement this. The Stalkers keep on going forward. MC, if he's able to take those down, might actually be able to win this out.
I'm surprised that Classic didn't come back for this.
The Tempests too still stay alive here.
There's no probes. Like, all the structures and probes are hidden away inside Classic space. There comes the recall, but it was very late here.
It's on top of all this army as well. It's taking a lot of free damage. Classic might have had a complete blunder. The army supply is 66 to 55 in favor of MC. The Colossi, if they kill off everything on the ground, but at the same time, Classic now taking a supply advantage in terms of the army. The Tempests have done the job they needed to do. There's no Marant here for MC, as in game number 1, Classic has been able to vanquish the Boss Toss's army. GG! What a heated final moments in game number 1, and I don't think it needed to be that way.
You really left that to the last minute. If that Nexus was gone, there's no recall.
Yeah.
You really left it to the last second to come back there. And it almost looked like that could have still gone in MC's way. If that Nexus had gone, there was no probes out, there's no buildings out anywhere, and all MC had to do was just clean up the main base and it was over. Because MC brought his probes over, he's rebuilding a Nexus. Classic left that recall very late there.
The really bizarre thing about that engagement at the very end is that we saw MC have a lot of zealots in his composition because he was trying to just rival his opponent's zealot count and then, you know, to go for a normal standard engagement. But if it came to the point where that had occurred and MC had somehow had foresight and dealt with it, he actually didn't need that many zealots. He could have had more stalkers to deal with that, but it's, you know, it's Captain Hindsight. There's really no way you can actually look into it like that.
Classic shows his excellence in Protoss versus Protoss, and just, I think, I remember kind of walking past the screen. I think it was on Frost that he had something very similar with his army movement and outplayed MC a little bit. Was that the one that MC left early? I think so. Classic kind of outplayed MC and removed them around. I think it was Frost because he killed the 3rd base and then recalled out and just kind of had these very smooth army movements, and it was kind of very similar in this game once again. Utilizing his mobility with going for the Templar focus play, pulling MC one way, using a Warp Prism. Just really, really nice play from Classic there.
But now in game number 2, we are on Yonsu, a map which, to be fair, would be a bit better for the style that we saw MC employ in the first game. So going on to it, so does Classic mix up his style, or does he try for something a little bit crazy? We'll have to find out in just a second.
Yeah, anything is possible here. It looks like we're going to need a couple of minutes as Funker just has to restart his PC before we jump into this one. But MC, with his 2nd place at the Intel Extreme Masters Sao Paulo, and is in really good shape right now. Probably, you know, some of the, if not the best shape he's been in StarCraft 2. You know, excluding his back to, well, not really back-to-back, but 2 GSL wins, he's looking absolutely fantastic in a period where StarCraft 2 is very, very competitive and very, very difficult.
Yeah.
And he has been putting a lot of hard work in and is very motivated to do well this year. But Classic could actually just knock him out right here and going into this next one. He wins this, he goes through in 2nd place, keeping MC away.
Yeah, and I mean, we're guaranteed another Protoss here because it's a PvP, so now you really can't make that argument. So, I mean, we are down to the final couple of players, and what a bracket it is going to be, Sean.
Yeah.
I am really, really looking forward to tomorrow, maybe more so than any other Intel Extreme Masters. Katowice was really good last year as well, but this bracket that we are going to have in this tournament is going to be insane.
Yeah, and that will be made public to everybody after this game, I'd imagine. I'm sure Red Eye will let us all know about it.
Oh, yeah.
And it is going to be a good tournament tomorrow. 4 Protoss players, 2 Terrans, 1 Zerg, no matter which way we look at it, but which Protoss completes the lineup.
Will it be this man? Spawning up to the top right-hand corner, one of his first international events ever in the StarCraft 2 scene for representing SK Telecom T1, it is Classic. Down to the bottom left-hand corner. It could be this man. He spawns in the blue. It is the boss toss. It is MC.
And you have to respect the Protoss player who practices day in, day out with parting and...
Yeah. That's a pretty good practice partner, I've got to say.
Yeah, and then, well, he's got pretty much everybody on that team to play and choose from.
Yep.
And of course, these teams, I'm sure some of you must have seen some of the schedules that they have. They have like where they play for a couple of hours on ladder, then they go through training regimes where they'd have an in-game tournament, they'd go over replays, and it is a very, very focused environment for improvement. And SK Telecom, you know, has been one of the biggest and best StarCraft 2 teams, or StarCraft teams in general, since forever.
Yeah. They got some money, man, behind them. They've got some money.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure. But now, let's see what's going to happen. Is it going to be Classic? A player that I thought was going to breeze through this group, but, I mean, his previous games were a mystery. Maybe I was being a little bit too ambitious there for Classic, but now he's looking good. He's sitting one game up against the boss toss. And he's taking on double gases, as is MC, and sending a probe over.
Yeah, MC's going to go in and have a look here, and just like he did in game number 1, feels more comfortable with knowing exactly what his opponent's doing. The double gas is down 2 and 2. Sees that there's no straight and early second pylon on the other side of the map, so there's no incredibly early rush.
Yep.
And will just feel better about his game here, at least feel more comfortable by the looks of it.
Classic actually just checking there for a cannon rush down on that low ground.
MC's mining more gas than the last game. He's actually in 3 and 3 really fast here. And in the last game, he went for the 1 gateway to the Twilight Council.
Yeah, I think
Twilight
so.
Council being 100 gas, and he was in 2 and 2. If you think about that, then he's most likely looking to tech a little bit harder in this game. We could see 1 gate Stargate come out from MC.
Could do.
Or we could, I mean, there's not the complete non-expansion builds that, I mean, there could be an expansion build here from MC, but he's kind of pushing into the Stalker, which is funny.
Is he going to chrono boost his Nexus, is the question.
Well, the probe is, I think it's more so, to actually get rid of the probe straight away here with the chrono boost and the Stalker means the probe has to leave faster, and he can throw down his tech choice.
Yeah, he's actually, he's dedicating all of his gas to tech very quickly and actually deciding to go for no mothership core. So by proxy, we have Stargate, not in a proxy location, but because of what happened.
Yeah, it looks like MC is going to go for an Oracle here. Whereas his opponent has thrown down the Twilight Council off the back of 2 gateways. And Classic did get in there, and the problem is he didn't really see a lot because the Stalker was chrono boosted out there. He only managed to see 1 gas and couldn't really tell how much gas had been mined properly, so he doesn't know if it's going to be the same potentially as the last game or if it could be the Stargate here.
And the previous times we actually saw them going, well, for normally when MC went Stargate in this against Classic, we also saw a Stargate on Classic side of the map as well, but this is not going to be the case this time. And MC was very proactive about going straight to Phoenix against it, but it is going to be the Oracle choice, which certainly will hold him in a bit more stead here.
And this kind of comes down to where the Stalkers and Mothership Core are going to be as the Oracle goes over, because first of all, there's going to be the Photon Overcharge, which can deflect the Oracle very easily, and there's also going to be Stalkers there, but where are they when the actual Oracle moves over? Is the big question here. Behind this, MC's actually thrown down the Twilight Council, so if he's able to do a lot of damage with the Oracle, he can very easily fall back onto the Twilight Council. I suppose it would be for Blink here, and if he does a lot of critical damage to his opponent's economy, he can very easily catch up and overtake with the Stalker count here, and then look to end the game somewhere around there.
Yeah.
But where's the Mothership Core for MC? I mean, for Classic, and where are the Stalkers? Right now, they're at home. This is gonna, unless he's really slow with his reactions, this shouldn't be too difficult to defend.
Yeah, and unfortunately for him, there's no like super clever moves, like a pylon going down at the front trying to draw him out of location. Nothing like that. No siree, as this Oracle flies in, is greeted by 3 Stalkers, and then it gets shooed right on out.
And then immediately, Classic knows his opponent's tech. Warps in 3 more Stalkers here. What happens if he leaves the Mothership Core at home? And then can use double Photon Overcharge because he didn't use one already, and then is aggressive on the other side of the map with the Stalkers that he has. So this becomes a very, very, very pressured situation here for MC, who would need to immediately start making units. And there's the first Photon Overcharge. He'll have another one. If need be, he can warp in Stalkers. But right now, MC's in trouble. MC needs to go back to the Nexus. He's going to have to use a Photon Overcharge of himself. And he's on the same tech choice as his opponent,
Yeah.
yet investing into a Stargate and Oracle, which is money and time that have done nothing for him here. Classic jumps up, and he knows he's in a great position. MC's in trouble.
He really is, especially if he starts focusing down pylons as well, which is exactly what Classics are going to go for. Photon Overcharge is activated. This buys MC time, but he's always going to be behind on the Stalker count.
Well, MC needs to just catch up here. He's actually got a counter pylon available over there, so he can warp in maybe some units to go and harass the mineral line or something. But right now, MC's trying to catch up in the Stalker count. It's 13-9, a 4 Stalker difference.
Yeah.
Photon Overcharge is going to be down in about 30 seconds time, and there is not enough energy for another one. The Oracle goes in hope to get something down. Late reactions from Classic there, a little bit slow, and MC will get a couple of kills, but will it be enough to actually allow him to get the economy to overtake in the Stalker count?
4 kills in total. MC currently at 29 probes to 21, but it's really only the 24 probes that are going to be the biggest effects across that base.
And Classic's not going to try this anyway. He's not going to try this.
Yeah.
MC has a decent Stalker count. It's actually, if you look at it, 12-13. Classic's gone over to the Immortal, and is, by the looks of it, going to just expand from this position. MC was definitely in a bit of a sticky situation there, but he found his way out.
It was nicely done. I mean, even with the Oracle, as MC there, you don't just send in the Oracle and say, nope, can't get anything done, gotta go back out again. Because if you do, then you end up in the same economical position, and then you can't really catch up. But
This pylon for MC is really, really good because it sees the no Nexus.
Yeah.
And Classic's still warping in units. He's got one Immortal with him. He's not going to expand.
uh-oh.
He's still coming for this.
And now he could actually have a few more. Like, he's got 16 to 12 right
But
now.
MC should be able to identify that his opponent isn't expanding. They're clearly building units here. There is the off chance of
There's a sentry being warped in.
well, that's going to split the Immortal back,
Yeah.
at least. He can push the Immortal back out of this for now. But MC's got to be careful here.
He really does.
If the Nexus completes, then he's going to have Photon Overcharge.
He's moving out.
MC is about to... Oh, this is really, really bad because he still doesn't know where Classic is. Classic doesn't know where
If
he
Classic
is.
goes, oh my god, if Classic goes right now, this could be catastrophic.
MC's so far out of position, but he's now started to realize what's going on.
And he did see all the sentries at the top.
He has to cancel this.
Yeah.
His Stalkers are so far out of position.
New ability for Protoss, apparently. Okay, well, he's actually chasing down... Okay, so audio cast for a second. He's actually chasing down those Stalkers. They did find themselves out of that sticky situation there for a second. But at the same time, he blinks forwards aggressively. The blink was on cooldown there for a second for MC. He's losing quite a few of them. That Immortal's getting some good shots as well. He's still on cooldown. He's still on cooldown. He can't blink up to the high ground. He's losing so many units. This is looking really bad. He blinks up onto the high ground, does Classic, to try and continue this on. And that one Immortal is doing quite a lot here for MC, but it's not going to be enough. He moves forwards, focuses that down. This is... he's losing so much. He's losing so much. 29 army supply against 21. MC is currently at a deficit. This one Immortal he's got Chrono boosted out is so important to have in the field.
He's almost going to have that, and that will start to change things a little bit here. And MC's not dead yet. He lost a lot there, and that was very scary for the boss toss. But he warps in a couple of Zealots here to buffer some shots to allow his Immortal to do more. He's going to get another one. If he gets to 2, he's in okay shape. And remember that he doesn't really need to move out there.
Wow.
Because he has another Photon Overcharge in just 10 energy time. He's Immortal.
The army supply is 37 to 30, so very, very close, but Classic was still a significant advantage. He tried to bring down that Mothership core. There was a small volley onto it. He knows that 100 energy is so important to him and Chill right now.
Yeah, and MC just doesn't want to waste that Photon Overcharge. But he's got 2 Immortals now.
He does. That's a lot of firepower.
He needs to get the Zealots at the front here. Time Warp goes down. He's going to take this with 2 Immortals.
The blink control here for Classic has to be great if it's going to deal with the firepower that we're seeing from those 2 Immortals from MC. The one Immortal at the front, he actually blinks forward. He's going to try and bring down the Immortals. He brings down one, he brings down a second. He knows he has the Stalker advantage from that point on, and he certainly does. He brings down the Mothership core as well. This is going great for Classic.
One more Immortal's about to join the fight, though.
Oh, that could really be the tide changer. Oh, he loses so many. These Stalkers are very, very low in health, and he's actually going to be able to push this back. MC being able to do this, and he blinks forwards to try and bring down the Immortal. This is so close. It leaves 4 to 3.
A couple more getting warped in here. This is incredibly close, and MC holds off for now once again. Nail-biting PvP here. And 3 Stalkers again coming out from Classic. He's going to hammer this in again. The Mothership core was lost. No Photon Overcharge. It's 7 to 4.
Because of all the gas he committed to those Immortals, he doesn't really have a huge amount to warp in extra Stalkers. He had to only just now start an Immortal. He really wishes he could start it earlier.
But now there's an expansion behind this for Classic, and he can keep the pressure on here and just keep MC away from expanding. And Classic is driving this one home at the moment. All he needs to do is keep MC feeling for his tournament life, because he is. He's obviously scared. He's 0-1 down, and Classic has kept MC back. And Well, he's moving around again here. He definitely could have put some pressure on, but he didn't want to be overrun by Stalkers. I felt he could have probably stayed a little bit longer, though.
He could have,
And then just fallen back onto this expansion. It looks like this game will move on again, Colaris.
Yeah, MC's going to try and expand.
Ooh.
He's going to be behind in terms of an expansion,
Classic's
though.
looking to blink inside the main here. He's
the
actually baiting MC down now. He's left, and then there's 4 Stalkers on the left-hand side with an Observer. He's baiting MC down to go and expand, and then he's going to try and get to the probe line here to further increase his line. But great
MC.
counterblink. Great counterblink.
Yeah, he knew that that Observer was trawling around there and being a sneaky little guy. But now, well, this is going to play out further. Classic has an expansion, much more further on than MC here. But also, you know, Classic did have those options, like you were mentioning. He was slowly bringing his Mothership core over that had full energy. Double time warps against an army like that in an engagement. He could have done damage, but he's going to play out safer.
He never had the Mothership core because he was always worried about an Oracle.
Yeah.
There always could have been one squeezed out, killed the probe line, game over. So he never wanted to bring it into the game.
Well, now we have 2 Immortals out for MC, as opposed to just the 1, but a second one's being added on here for Classic, and he does have that economy advantage now going into the further stages, as well as adding on the Forge. So Classics is happy to play this out a little further.
Sigh of relief for everybody. This has been quite
Dude, that was tense.
an action-packed 16 minutes here, and they're still just really getting onto 2 bases. Classic going to take his lead from the early part of this 50-minute early game into a Forge, and of course will look to increase his tech soon. I wonder if he'll play Colossus here. He seems to be favoring very heavily into Templar play, and with double gases taken so early, he's really increasing his gas count, which would lead to believe that. But of course, anything's still possible from this point. MC, though, going over to Zealot Charge, and he's the one that's going to be playing Templar, definitely. I wonder what Classic will do, though.
Yeah, right now we have a significant probe lead here for Classic. I would love to see him try and go over to those Colossi. That would be very cool to see here from Classic.
Yeah, because he wouldn't even really be too afraid to be taking his 3rd base kind of early with Colossus because he has a lead in the game. He kind of defeats the weakness of Colossus base play just by having a lead earlier on in the game.
And for now, there's going to be a hallucinated Phoenix sending over the field, and he's going to see that his opponent's researching charge. I mean, this hallucinated Phoenix is going to get good information as to what he's up to.
Now both players going to play Templar.
Nice. Ooh, he got the Observer as well. This is a really good trade there for Classic.
And Classic going to scout now. Is going to go in with the hallucinated Phoenix and see Templar Archives.
All right, so this is going to shape up to be a little bit more of a mirror once again. And
yeah, still though, Classic in a bit of a lead, just being able to maintain the probe lead, economy lead.
43 to 35, the income looking pretty nice in his favor. So MC has to somehow find the way through this deficit. It's going to be difficult for him to take a straight up engagement against an opponent that's level pegging with him on every aspect. Oh wait, okay, so only 1 Immortal extra.
Stalker's coming in from the back here, and there's quite a few of them. There's quite a few of them for Classic.
There isn't. There's not been spotted at all.
No, and the hallucinating Phoenix pulled the Stalkers to the natural.
Oh,
so he jumps in.
Whoa, this is a fantastic opportunity here for Classic. Not only that, but the buildings are slightly blocking
and he's
MC
gonna get
that
out
he threw
too.
down.
Oh, 1 Stalker. That sucks for you, bro.
Yeah, that wasn't very happy.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh, he's getting support fire, but still not out.
All right, MC's army supply is pretty strong right now. He's been warping in, and he's really increased his gateway count. I think MC's going to fight now, Colaris. I think he's going to go for one of his blind timings. And I say blind because just look, he's seen nothing here, really.
Yeah.
He hasn't sent out any hallucinating things. I think he's going to fight in a second. And the thing is, it works really, really well for him because Classic's taken a 3rd Nexus. He's only on 6 gateways right now, and MC's going to match that. I think this is a crazy opportunity that MC's going to hit without really knowing it.
Wow.
You know, he's playing from behind. He's playing from behind in the economy, and this is going to work. I think this is going to work. It's going to be really, really close.
We have... Oh, MC has more Zealots.
It's going to be close. There's a +1 attack, though, that's finished for Classic. If Classic defends this, that's it. He's through.
Classic has to warp in nothing but Zealots at this point, and then I think he'll be okay.
MC's reinforcements, though, pylons so far.
Yeah, it is.
And Classic knows this is happening now.
Yeah.
So he's actually kind of prepared, and he's going to have a better position. Immortals are the same. The Archons are in favor of Classic.
This could be MC's time, though. I think he has to pull back. The thing is, though, if
he pulls back, the game's over because there's +2 attack on the way. There's 3 Nexus on the way. He has to go now.
He's delaying. He's delaying so much. He needs to go. Classic right now is building up. He is getting stronger, and he still has that +1 and with +2 on the way. This is hard. The MC now is going to try and take the engagement. He throws down a Time Warp in a pretty good spot, actually. Second Time Warp will end up going down, though, from Classic side of things, slowing down a lot of those Zealots that aren't really doing too much damage, but Classic is fighting in a bit of a hazardous position. A lot of his army on that left-hand side isn't really doing a whole lot. The blink forwards on that left-hand side, though. Classic still with a supply advantage. Armies are dead even. 59, though, to now 47, as Classic is looking to power on. He has the concave, he has the power, he has the ability. Those Immortals are rendered as useless, and MC is on the back foot. He is retreating. He is dying here.
Classic's going to win the rematch, Kolaris.
Wow, Classic. After the first series, it was so close between them. MC eked it out, but Classic, at this late stage in the day, GG, he advances on. He is the second SK Telecom player in the round of 8.
2 of them came, 2 of them are in the round of 8, and MC is knocked out of the tournament, and Classic moves on. He played that series great.
He
really well. Just took an advantage in different parts of the early game and just held on to it and never let it go.
In the end, the first victory that MC was able to take off Mr. Classic was merely a blip on Mr. Classic's PvP record, as when it mattered, he was able to pull it out.
And that completes the top 8.
Yeah.
We've got now the top 8 of the Intel Extreme Masters Cologne tournament. Rain, Hero, Patience, Jack G, Pult, Jaedong, Innovation, and Classic.
What a lineup. What a lineup. We are going to be in for a treat tomorrow. We thought the games were good today, but going into tomorrow, this round of 8.
It's an incredible round of 8.
Yeah.
It's completely breathtaking there to actually think about the top tier players that we're going to have face off tomorrow. When we hit the playoffs, it's going to be best of 5s from the quarterfinals until the final, which will be a best of 7, where we will have an Intel Extreme Masters Cologne champion and maybe 2 players to make it to the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice too.
Yeah, certainly. A few of them have already bagged their spot, and they are already there. So if one of those spot takes top 2, then there will be another open bracket spot at Katowice. But I mean, there's a good chance we could have Innovation there, we could have Jaedong there, we could. This is going to be great. I can't wait.
It's going to be a great day tomorrow. But yeah, Classic takes out MC there in the rematch. But you have to come in. I didn't actually, like I said, I didn't see the first series between the both.
Yeah.
But looking at that and knowing how close the first series was, as you say, and then looking at this one, it was really going to be 50-50 who won this last one. And it was Classic that got the smaller edges.
I absolutely have to agree. I mean, watching that first series, MC made it happen and did so impressively, but the transition onto the next series, Classic had that tied down. He was really on top of things. It was good to watch.
It's a shame the Oracle couldn't have got in there for MC, because that's what he was really banking on in the early stages of that game, but it was completely deflected, and then he was just behind from that position pretty much for the entire of the game. And he tried one last-ditch blind attack to hope, and, well, we saw what happened.
Yeah. All right, well, that does it for us, guys. We know our round of 8 players. Let's send it over to Paul and see what they have to think.
Thank you very much, and a big thank you to our commentary team today, Kolaris, Apollo, and with me, Rhett and Todd. Of course, our Give Zero Funks observer as well. Zero Funks, guys. Funker, of course, from our observer upstairs with no hair today, has also done a cracking job. We're going to wrap up by talking about all 4 groups that we've seen over the last 2 days. The last man through is Classic after a good win. He joins Innovation from Group D. If we take a look at all 4 groups now on the screen, though, we can go through groups A to D and show you all of the 8 players that have gone through to the quarterfinals. In Group A, Rain, very dominant. Hero going through in second place. Patience and Jack G from Group B. In Group C, Pult and Jaedong earlier on, knocking out Mana and Stardust despite a very good group stage from Mana. And in Group D, Innovation and Classic advance over MC and Hero Marine. I suppose, guys, in a way, it's worth talking about the players who didn't make it just as much as the players who did make it, because there's some... that's a graveyard of fantastic players left right there in the round of 16.
Yeah, for me, I would say biggest surprises, MC, obviously, Stardust not making it there, and
Deer?
Dear, yes and no. I guess he wasn't performing very well, and he's in his games here in particular, in my opinion, compared to other guys like MC who really had some good games, but now kind of fell apart against Classic. So I'm not as surprised about Deer as I am for MC.
And from a Terran point of view, 4GG not making it through. He'd had a terrific tournament at Aces ROG, and yet didn't really featuring in the group stage.
Yeah, I mean, he had a really, really difficult group, so, you know, anything can happen when you have this many good players in this many groups. There's kind of not really any real upsets, because all these players are equally good, and 4GG unfortunately just couldn't make it, but we have plenty of other, like, really strong, promising Terran players.
Absolutely. 5 Protoss, 2 Terran, 1 Zerg in the next round, and the 2 Terrans are Polt and Innovation. I don't think we could have asked for much better than that as Terrans. Obviously, as a Zerg, great to have Jaedong in there as well, so we've got a mix. But 5 Protoss showing their power, Todd.
Indeed, they did, and 4GG actually fell to the power of Protoss, if you think about it, so nothing new here, and quite a few PvPs
Nothing to see,
up,
move along. Okay, we're going to move on to the quarterfinal draw in a moment and show you the quarterfinals as they line up. It's going to be very exciting. I can't wait to see. I haven't seen it yet either, so I don't know who's playing who. But before we do that, actually, we're just going to wrap up on our final. All right, well, let's show you the quarterfinal anyway.
Wow.
Okay, so we've got Polt versus Classic. It's another TVP. Rain versus Jack G, another PVT. Patience versus Jaedong, a PVZ. And just to make it, you know, every opportunity for the Protoss to go through, Innovation versus Hero in another PVT. What do you think?
I was actually really hoping for Innovations versus Hero because I think it's a great matchup and I want to see some more insane PvT in these tournaments. I was hoping Jaedong would avoid Rain because that would have been an abrupt end to his tournament, in my opinion. He's probably the match he did not want to play either. But if you think about it, he's meeting Patience, who has shown extremely good skills versus Zergs. So it's not going to be as hard as Rain, but still pretty hard for Jaedong, in my opinion.
I want to correct my maths as well. I was slightly wrong. It's four Protoss, 3 Terran, 1 Zerg, because I forgot about Jack G being...
Potato.
Yeah, whatever. But, yeah, all the Protoss are in different games. Rhett, nice to see Innovation and Polt on opposite sides of the draw, I guess, from your point of view.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing to note is also Rain and Classic are on the same side of the bracket, so they're going to possibly have a team kill in the semi-final. And very happy as well as thought for Jaedong, because I was also worried about Jaedong playing Rain, but against Patience, I feel like he might have a chance, and he might really gather enough momentum if he takes out Patience to take the whole thing. So.
Okay, but then he would face Innovation or Hero in the next round as well.
But he's beaten Innovation before.
Absolutely.
And he's beaten Hero before.
He has. I was going to raise the point. He's beaten both of them. So he probably looks at that draw and thinks, I've got a good chance tomorrow. Decent chance. Maybe the only Zerg goes all the way.
Yeah, he dodges Rain up until the finals, and the priority here again for Jaedong, as much as I know he would like to win the title, is qualifying for Katowice. He needs to make it to the grand finals, and I think he's going to have a decent shot at making it too.
You're right, and what it also means is that either Rain or Classic won't be in Katowice as far as the qualifiers are concerned. They will have the opportunity of going through the open bracket, of course, but that's a whole other ball game. They want to make sure they get through here. So it's not going to be an SKT T1 final, we know that much, but it could still be a PvP, it could still be a TVT, it can't be a ZVZ. Sorry, Rhett.
That's okay. My race is underpowered, you know.
Okay, I'm just going to get your final words now for the whole of the last 3 days. What's been your favourite moments? What stuck out for you, Todd, in the last 3 days?
You know, the Terrans really bring it to the Protosses. Actually,
you've shown a lot of Terran love today in the last few days.
I think it's deserved. I've just seen, even though my own games, you know, it goes very bad versus Terran these days, I have to feel for the Terrans. There has been really bad times recently for them versus Protosses. And I watched a lot of the games that are being shown, and they've been losing a ton, non-stop. So now seeing them play as well as they did, Polt, Jack G, Innovation, that makes me really happy, and I'm looking forward to seeing more good TVP action, especially Innovation versus Hero.
All joking aside and all race bias aside, there's one of each of us here, by the way, which is quite a nice balance. it is great to see a lot of different races in each round. We want to see more. You want to see more Zergs, you want to see good level of Protoss, good level of everything. It's nice to have the mix, right?
Yeah, I'm mostly really happy that, a lot of complaints about Swarm Host before the tournament, about Blink All-Ins, but
Guilty as charged.
We haven't really seen any of those games that are
no, we
really
haven't. I think
We've
maybe
had really
one.
exciting games all tournament long, and that's what I'm most excited about.
Okay, what's been your favourite moment from the last 3 days? What stands out?
Well, it's going to be really obvious, and people are going to say that I'm biased, but I really enjoyed Jaedong's comebacks today. I mean, even if I wasn't a Zerg player and I wasn't a Jaedong fan, those games were really good.
I'm with you, because my favourite moment of the day, funnily enough, was the hold. The hold that he made against that 2-gate was just... You just looked at him and went, oh, well, he's lost this one. Let's move on. No, he never gives up. The Tyrant never says no. And held the game and obviously advanced. So thank you very much, gents. It's been a great pleasure alongside you once more. We are done and dusted, as Kalaris would say, for day number 3 here at the Intel Extreme Masters. I'll let him off because he hasn't said it today, but he has said it a few times in the past. It's time for us to go and get some night sleep now. And when we come back tomorrow, we'll be ready for the quarterfinals of Intel Extreme Masters Cologne. We'll see you tomorrow from 12 p.m. Central European time. See you then.